So the second Super Mario Bros. Movie has officially been announced by Shigeru Miyamoto and Chris Meledandri in a Mario Day video on the official Nintendo of America YouTube channel. With a planned release date of April 3rd, 2026 and animation starting soon, that leaves plenty of time to speculate what exactly is going to happen in this film. So, without further ado, let's go! Just before we get started, I want you guys to know that this video is scripted and those Mario Movie 2 images came out after I have already written the script, so those will not be featured in the video, but I don't really have any places for them because they don't really fit within the video. Let's start with what we know. The Super Mario Bros. Movie released on April 5th, 2023. The official Rotten Tomato critic scores were a little mixed, but that didn't stop people from going to see the movie, including me. And it was a box office success, grossing $1.36 billion US. That alone basically was a clear sign of a sequel, but nothing was confirmed by Illumination or Nintendo until now. Though it's important to note that they never said it was going to be a second Mario film, just that it was a return to the world. As I was writing this script, there were leaked images on Twitter, or X, who actually calls it X. One with Mario and Luigi at a desert in a market of some sort. I didn't get to see the image for myself. And the rest were concept images from the first movie. You can get a better description of the image from channels like Game Explain or Nintendo Land. Links in the description. Even though the movie could be a Luigi, Donkey Kong, or Peach themed movie, for this video specifically, I'm going to talk about a Mario movie sequel. First off, it's safe to assume that most if not all of the cast from the first movie will return for the sequel. Mainly Chris Pratt's Mario, Charlie Day's Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy's Peach, and Keegan-Michael Key's Toad will all return in the sequel. As for Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen's Cranky Kong, and Julia Juremic's Luma Lee, I don't think they will return in the movie outside of small cameos maybe. But I think these last three actors are the most interesting as to their roles in the next film. Charles Martinet will most likely reprise his roles as both Giuseppe and Mario and Luigi's father in the sequel. But Giuseppe will just be a small cameo just like in the first Mario movie. Mario's dad, however, will probably have a larger role in the story, and I'll explain why in just a second. Now, Jack Black will also probably return as Bowser in the next film, but not as a big bad throughout the whole movie like he did in the first one. Instead, I think he'll either be locked up or with Mario and friends for most of the movie and maybe be the big bad at the end, growing big like in the games, and everyone will have to team up to stop him. Which brings me to my last actor, the one who I think will have a bigger role than he did last time and lead the dominoes for one of two plots in the movie. Sebastian Maniscalco as Foreman Spike could be one of the big villains of the movie. Let me explain. Remember when I said that I think Mario's dad will have a bigger role? I believe that Nintendo and Illumination have listened to our nitpicks about the first movie, one of which is more Brooklyn. At least, that's what I wish for. This also makes narrative sense. I think the movie will have two plots. A Brooklyn plot and a Mushroom Kingdom plot. They could even link the two plots to each of the brothers if they wanted to, but we'll get to that later. In the Brooklyn plot, I think we'll see the aftermath of the end of the first movie and the effect it had on Brooklyn itself. Mario and Luigi's business would probably be very successful after becoming heroes, because everybody respects them now. But there would be a negative effect as well, as like people could maybe think that they caused all the damage and it's their fault, or maybe. But Spike's business would be getting less and less attention due to the Mario Brothers, because, you know, that's how businesses work. And he'd want to get rid of them so that way he can have successful business. So what if he hires Wario and Waluigi, who could be related to Spike or not, to keep them in the Mushroom Kingdom? I wanted to insert Wario and Waluigi in the story because they just make sense in the sequel. As for Mario's dad, he'll probably be trying to teach a lesson of some sort, which would be Mario's arc for the film maybe. It could also be both of their arcs. but I see Luigi having his own separate arc from Mario's arc. Bowser would be the motive for the villains of the Mushroom Kingdom plot, which would probably be the Koopalings or Bowser Jr., as they try to rescue him from Peach and the brothers. Now, Peach, to everyone's disappointment, will probably be a background character. If you can't tell, that was scripted and will actually be corrected later, but we'll get to that. The same can be said for Toad, as the focus of the movie will most likely be on the brothers, with Yoshi on the adventure together.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yoshi in the movie will probably start off in Brooklyn, but make his way to the Mushroom Kingdom with Mario and Luigi as they try to get him home. Kinda like a reverse of Yoshi's Island. I feel like this would make the most sense since Mario's backstory is changed, and you could still have fun with that Yoshi's Island story. And it's kinda similar to what they did with the reversal of Peach's role in the first movie. Maybe once Wario and Waluigi enter the world of the Mushroom Kingdom, which they would probably find by keeping an eye on the Mario brothers, they try to steal the Yoshi eggs for some reason, maybe. Also, side note, I would want Wario and Waluigi's personalities to be similar to Spike and Iggy's from the original Mario movie. Now, I know that may not be a popular opinion, but after watching the movie, which actually is not as bad as people make it out to be, like, it's bad, but I kind of enjoyed it as well. You know, it's one of those so bad it's good, kind of. But watching those two characters, I said constantly throughout my first viewing of the movie that they reminded me of Wario and Waluigi, and I 100% know that if those characters existed back when that movie was made, that's who it would have been instead of two random guys. I don't know how to fit Toad and Peach into the movie, but they'd be there all the same, because of course they would. Kamek would be with the Koopa clan as well. Koopa clan, Koopa troop, however you want to say that. I call it Koopa clan throughout this video, so whether with Bowser, the Koopalings, Bowser Jr., or all, because maybe they'll all, and be a supporting character for the film. The brothers would be the main party of the movie, and the movie would focus on them together as a team on an adventure, traveling all over the Mario world. Their personalities, I believe, would go well together and be the best part of the movie, because they would 100% play off of each other. And every scene where Mario and Luigi are together in the first movie is one of the highlights of the movie. They will probably both have their own arcs in the movie as well. This is something I mentioned earlier. They're most likely going to fight Wario and Waluigi constantly throughout the film, because those would be the main antagonists for them, while taking care of Yoshi since he's still a baby, because that just makes sense. But there's one more new character to add to this movie. Daisy will also be in the movie, most likely. I mean, it just makes sense, because, you know, there was the desert image, and everybody's shouting for Daisy. I mean, I don't see why Nintendo wouldn't, outside of the idea that there could be too many characters. While Mario and Luigi are with Yoshi chasing after Wario and Waluigi, Peach and Toad could be visiting Daisy, maybe. Then they would chase after the Koopa clan, aka the Koopalings or Bowser Jr. This could make a lot of sense, actually, and this is probably where they'd fit the most in the movie, at least for the plot I'm making. And try to stop them in their own plot, the Mushroom Kingdom plot, which would mainly be about, like, the aftermath of the last movie in the Mushroom Kingdom, and, like, trying to free Bowser. And finally, they would all join together to stop Bowser and the Koopa clan, and maybe Wario and Waluigi, or they'd team up. Obviously, there should be more power-ups included in the movie, such as the Fire Flower for, like, mainly Mario and Luigi, even though we got the Fire Flower in the last movie, but I'd like to see Mario and Luigi use it. The Propeller Cap, that's one of my favorites. Penguin/Frog Suit, to get some more suits in there. Boomerang Flower, Mega Mushroom, and the 1-Up Mushroom, because that was surprisingly not in the first movie. I even have an idea for a scene in the film where Mario finds a 1-Up Mushroom, and when he tries to use it, he thinks it does nothing, of course, but we know better. And there's a bottomless pit in the way of where they're trying to go, so he thinks it will give him a jump boost. But when he tries it, he falls into the pit to his death. And Luigi would be there too, and he'd be like, "No, Mario, no." Then Mario would appear behind him, because obviously he's not dead, and be all like, Luigi, I'm right here. I don't know. Also, as far as casting goes, I don't know who will play Daisy or Bowser Jr., but I do have 2 ideas for both Wario and Waluigi. Wario could be played by Pedro Pascal, that's who Jack Black suggested, and I think he'd do fine in the role. Or Danny DeVito, which is the internet's choice, mine included. I mean, come on. Please, Nintendo. As for Waluigi, he's a little more tricky. I only saw one on the internet, which is Steve Buscemi. I also think he'd be a good choice, and I haven't seen any other suggestions. I mean, I'm sure he could do fine. And I came up with this just for the memes, because this came to me while I was marathoning Illumination movies. Yes, this is what I choose to do in my free time. What if Jason Segel, is that how you pronounce that? AKA
Vector!
Just imagine Waluigi
Committing crimes with both direction and magnitude!
Last but certainly not least is the Koopalings. I mean, you gotta cast the Koopalings, that's how casting works. If they go the Koopaling route, I think there's only one way to cast all 7, count them 7, characters. And that is to have YouTubers voice the roles. Now, I know what you're thinking, Nintendo usually doesn't want to do all that, but come on Nintendo, just this once, please. It would be so perfect. Imagine YouTubers like Dashy Games, Scott the Woz, Nathaniel Bandy, Ant Dude, and more. That's kind of my extent there, but I'm sure you guys could think of like 3 more. I doubt it will happen. It would be so cool if it did though. And that's about it. I'm so excited for this movie and I can't wait to see it. I don't have any other ideas for it, but I probably will be making more videos on the Mario movie coming up soon as we get more news. And maybe images, trailers, who knows. Let me know if you want to see me do more of these for other things, and let me know if you want me to talk about a Luigi's Mansion or Donkey Kong movie. And until next time, see ya.